Welcome back, you guys, to another weekly outlook. My name is the Euro USD Rapist, and I'm going to show you exactly why I have that damn. But let's get straight into it. So we've been watching the Euro USD move up. If you go back and watch some of the previous videos, and that I was stating that I did not see a reason for it to go beyond this high. So if you were trying to get in for longs just because you were seeing it move up higher, um, you're getting into longs around the wrong spot because here it is. We're in premium pricing the head down lower. So let me just recap all of the things that we did. So here we go to the monthly chart. There it is. Now, I annotated that I don't have it like depicted on I don't have it depicted on the chart, but this is a monthly gap, straight and plain. And within this monthly gap, we had a retracement up into this about two times. This, I believe, was the month of April and once more in the month of May. So we had that, and now we go to the weekly. Just want to let you know, guys know about that. Okay, let me cut this off for a brief second. So we have this high here, this high of last year, which is the 2025 yearly high, and then we swept it. It's a clear sweep of liquidity. This is not a break of structure, it's a sweep of liquidity. Then we head down lower. We headed down lower. I didn't have any trades within this push down lower. You let the markets do what it has to do at the beginning of the year. Then we break structure, boom, on a weekly time frame. People who were looking at this were assuming this was a daily break of structure, and then they were trying to get short in here, and then ultimately got stopped out. I mean, we're not even in like premium pricing to head down lower. All right, let's move on. Here it is. We head down lower. We move up into premium pricing. Then what do I have marked up? I say within premium pricing, within the gap that we're in, we have this weekly high, this weekly high, and this weekly high. And I have those annotated on the chart. And I said it has to sweep liquidity as long as we're in a premium pricing. So one of these highs had to get taken out of. At least to me one. And it was clearly this one. If it came up to here, notice this is where I'm annotating my fib from. So I don't expect it to come here, because this has a thicker body, and then, you know, we put it down here from high to low. We're in premium pricing, sweep liquidity. We generated some liquidity up in this range, and then we burst down lower, right? And you can see that within uh, all of this work. Now, the reason I didn't come came back within like to give you guys updated videos is because I already did like say what I had to say in the last video. I said if we get above here, I'm dead wrong, but I say I don't see any reason for it to get above here. So we were just waiting on the drop lower. Cool. And also we had an SMT divergence within where we're sitting. So let me go back to the weekly for a second and then put on some of the lipstick for you guys to see. So here we go. Now, I remember telling you guys that I had a weekly fair value gap. I can delete this now, this weekly gap. Now, what do we have within this whole range? We have a suspension block. Now, I remember telling you guys that I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about the suspension block, but there wasn't no need to if I was seeing the weekly fair value gap get respected. But however, let me use a rectangular tool. However, if we put our fib from, I mean our rectangle from here to here, where this is actually a weekly fair value gap, for the most part, it respected it until this particular week right here. This particular week, which was last week, it closed above. So I just went on with my original idea that this was going to be a suspension block. I talked about that, but I just didn't wanna go further into it. So what is a ICT suspension block? You have to have a gap here and then a gap here for it to be a suspension block. So I'm not using the low of this candle and I'm not using the high of this candle. I'm using the gap for this to be a suspension block, and it stayed within it beautifully while we're up in premium pricing. So all of this time we're in premium pricing. We had the 4 hour fair value gap. We tapped into the monthly gap. We took a weekly liquidity. We were just waiting for it to go lower. So there we go. We're in a suspension block. And within the suspension block, it works just like a fair value gap. We have the SMT divergence. So what is an SMT divergence? An SMT divergence and I have it set to the SMT divergence to show the difference between GBP, GBP and Euro USD. So this is an SMT divergence because this high right here, if we are looking at GBP USD went above this high right here, Euro USD failed to go above that high, which then caused the crack in the correlation, and then you see we have this move here lower. So now this is a valid setup. This is a plus setup for me. Um, However, it can get kind of tricky because where I have my where you see my SMA forming, when you put a like for example, I want to put a short position on, I would have my short position somewhere here. The the pips you would have to like risk just to be safe, it would have to be up here, like 104 pips. But I'm gonna play it by ear. So next week, what am I looking to do? So I can safely put my stop loss here at 29 pips, or I can put it here at the high for about 50 pips, or probably right here at the open for 43 pips. I would prefer to have my stop loss right around here for about 20 something pips or more. So, and then like we were talking about, aiming for the 6 month fair value gap. I'm already in shorts. I'm just trying to show you what my A plus setup would look like for about a risk to reward of 18.51. And yes, I'm going to hold for that long. Um, I'll be taking out partial profits, but what are we looking for next week? I am looking For price to go up, you can go to lower time frames to then, catch the buy up to go inside of this fair value gap. When we get in here, however, I just want to let everyone know that when your USD comes up to this zone, GBP USD, because I'm trying to show you the height of the fair value gap. Let me delete this for a second. What is gonna happen to GBP USD is, so we're gonna have that. So this daily fair value gap right here, your USD is gonna slowly trickle up into this fair value gap. This is the low end of it. This is the midpoint, and then this is the high. GB, if your USD gets to the top, I'm going to assure everyone GBP USD is only going to get to the midpoint, so you can confidently take a trade in GBP USD's daily fair value gap to the midpoint, and um, once you get to that midpoint, once you get to that midpoint, you could put your stop loss right. I'm telling you, this is like factual. But you can put your stop loss up in here. For me, my stop loss is gonna be anywhere from here to about, I don't know, the the open of this candlestick. We just have to play it by ear, depending on how fast it reaches up here, up into here. That is going to be, that is gonna show me the catalyst for how quickly I should look for the sales, because it can very well come up here and take this out, and then I could start shorting from here and have my stop loss above here, you know. But whatever it does, I'm gonna play it by ear. I'm not really gonna set a limit, or I'm gonna be actively watching it. Um, but yeah, this like I mean, just to inform you guys again, price is squeezing, so it gave a false signal for retail traders. If I were to go to the 4 hour time frame, okay, so here on the 4 hour time frame, what do we have? We have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. It looks like a head and shoulders pattern, and then it went up, and then we came into a new week. I guess people thought that it still was going to go up. We had an SMT divergence within this 4 hour fair value gap as well. Um, you had the clear break of structure of this fair of that SMT divergence. We had a small retracement inside of this fair value gap, and then we shoot it down lower. I was in this cell right here. This is what I'm saying. When you have an SMT divergence, you have to wait for the structure to get broken for it to be classed as a plus setup. So the structure was broken, and then we came back and we tested the low end of the fair value gap, and then we headed down. This was a beautiful setup, just a beautiful setup. So I mean, I don't know how to tell you guys on, if you see it on the daily, you know what's about to happen. But yeah, this is a fake signal that this is an inverted head and shoulders, my bad, for retail traders to go long. I knew that this was the height. We had the break of structure. We came into it. We tested it. We trickled down. We played up in here for a minute. Um, we were wicking off of this 4 hour fair value gap. Notice the body is never closed above, and then we came down lower. So I am looking for buys next week into the fair value gap. If not with EU, then I look at GU. So let's look at GU now. Let's quickly look at GU, GBP USD. So here we have GBP USD. The same scenario. I Everyone was bullish on GU. I was not bullish at all on GBP USD. Um, it looked bullish, but it really wasn't. You know, from high to low, premium pricing. We have an SMT divergence. If I was to, this is how you use this tool. If I was to come here and then type in Euro USD FX, you know, clearly we have an SMT divergence set up here, but I'm only interested in buys next week. I'm gonna buy into the midpoint of this fair value gap right here. Now I can't tell you if where GBP USD closed today, which is Friday, if this is the low. I can only know once next week open because we might head down lower, then come up. And this right here should be an entry into this, the midpoint of this fair value gap. The stop loss could be right here, and then you could drop it. You could then sell off lower. But I'm looking for buys next week on lower time frames, and then that's literally all I have for now on GU. We can move into this 3 month fair value gap and break below this low, which then we could tap into this weekly fair value gap. Um, but for now, like this would be my target once we get up in here and then head down lower. So I hope you guys understand um, my forecast. I'm gonna wish everyone good luck and good trading for next week. If you have any questions, leave them inside the comments. Subscribe, like, and we'll get right to it.